Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to the cottage kitchen at the Elliott homestead. It probably looks a little different in here than you're used to, but this is the reality. When you use your kitchen, especially 3 times a day, all day, it gets dirty. It gets so incredibly dirty. And of course, there are tips and tricks, cleaning up after yourself, maybe doing a few dishes at a time. But at the end of the day, a lot of times we're just left with the aftermath of life. So I want to invite you into my kitchen today. We're going to clean it together and we're going to do something that I call putting the kitchen to bed. So I shared this concept over on Instagram, maybe a year ago now, and it just stuck like glue. There were so many of you out there who sort of needed this encouragement or just sort of needed to implement this habit. So I figured it was time to do a video so that we could kind of share what that process looks like for us here in our kitchen. So this is sort of a personal challenge to yourself to get your kitchen that last push, that last 20% clean and situated and accounted for before you go to bed at night. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you are starting fresh from a place of rest and a place of beauty. Oftentimes, putting the kitchen to bed means doing some prep work even for breakfast or for meals the next day. Maybe it means baking your loaf of bread or pulling some meat out of the freezer. There's a lot that kind of goes into this, but the concept is really simple, which is completely reset your kitchen for the next day so that your kitchen can be a place of joy for you. So I always say that putting your kitchen to bed is like a gift to yourself, because tomorrow you is going to be really happy that today you took the time to do that. And I'll tell you, it's hard. That last 10% particularly is very hard. So a few of my weak spots are my floor, which takes a significant amount of time to vacuum up. I also tend to stack things right here at the top of the stairs instead of walking them all the way downstairs. Georgia will hand wash the dishes, but a lot of times they just sit out on the counter drying instead of being put away. Sometimes leftovers get left on the stove or the stove doesn't get wiped down. But putting your kitchen to bed, although however imperfectly you do it, the idea is still that you're gonna go all the way. You're gonna get to that point where you can turn off the lights and light the candle and just walk out of the room knowing that it's set perfectly for the next day. So come on, clean with me. When I'm putting my kitchen to bed, I like to start by doing the dishes. And this usually means just taking a quick lap around the kitchen and gathering them up from here, there, and everywhere, making sure to check the dining room table, maybe making sure to pull cups out of bedrooms and out of the living room so that all of the dishes are consolidated in the kitchen and I can just wash. Now, normally Georgia does all of the loading and hand washing of the dishes, but this was a particularly rough day in the kitchen and she had already put a few rounds in. When I do the dishes, I prefer just to hand wash all of them. I enjoy the process. I enjoy the warm water and the good smelling soap. So this is typically how I do dishes by hand. Before we can make the kitchen feel beautiful, we kind of have to neutralize the ugly and neutralize the mess. So that's why dishes are a great place to start. This is also why I really try to not let my dishes sit on my counter to dry, but instead just grab a dry rag, wipe them off really quickly, and get them put away. Because as nice as it looks to have clean dishes on the counter versus dirty dishes, it still makes the kitchen feel not completely put to bed when there are dishes drying on the counter. So on my best days, all of the dishes are washed, scrubbed, polished, and put away. Whenever copper goes through my kitchen sink, I always take the time to polish the outside with Barkeeper's Friend so that it keeps it looking shiny and clean and gets any crusty bits off the outside. And because we use all of our copper pots, they all sort of find their way into the sink every couple weeks at least to get polished. The next thing that I do after all the dishes are done is to get rid of all the dirty rags and sponges and hand towels for the day. We use them pretty aggressively in this house, which means that they take a beating. So every day they need to be switched out with fresh ones. I like to think of cleaning in my kitchen from the top down. So to me, getting food put away and getting dishes washed is sort of the top. And then as we move down, we wipe off counters, scrub the sink, get any remnants or dishes or pots or pans or things that need to be put in the pantry, get those put away. And then the last bit that we tend to is the floor, because that way if stuff falls off the counters or we track stuff in from the root cellar or from outside while we're taking the trash out, we don't mess up the kitchen in the process. So I kind of just visually look at the kitchen and just think, just go top down. Don't get overwhelmed, just go top down. The stovetop cleaner that I'm using is part water, part white vinegar, and part dish soap. And I just keep filling up this old bottle. It's my favorite for degreasing things in the kitchen. Now, every once in a while when I'm deep cleaning the kitchen, I'll take my burner plates off and I will give them a good scrub with Barkeeper's Friend, but this is an everyday cleaning of my kitchen. This is usually how bad it gets during the day and usually how much I need to clean it at night before bed. So in putting the kitchen to bed, this is not time for scrubbing out the kitchen or organizing the refrigerator. This is about putting things right and putting things beautiful for the next day. It was Dry Farm's delivery day. As I'm clean sweeping through the kitchen, I always try to open my eyes to things that need to be taken care of. If it's a light bulb that needs to be changed, so be it. If my kitchen table needs to be polished with wood polish, if it's looking a little dry, this is the perfect time to do that. Just those small tasks that make you come out the next morning and just relax and be like, oh yeah, I did that, and it looks great. The very last step for putting the kitchen to bed is to clean the floor, and I do this with my SIBO vacuum that I absolutely love. I use the carpet vacuum on the big carpet that I keep in there, and then use the other little dry floor attachment for just vacuuming up the tile. I like to end the day by just taking a step back and appreciating my kitchen for all that it does for us. I write the menu for the next day so that the kids know what to expect. I put out some fresh flowers, I light a candle, and I just give thanks.